This is The Moneymakers. I'm Bruce Whitfield. With markets in a shambles, the rand playing seesaw with a 16 rand level to the dollar mark and possibly even worse, we look at some of the players affected by currency instability in the hospitality sector. Tonight, chatting to the City Lodge Chief Executive Clifford Ross about navigating the tricky terrain of dwindling economic prospects versus City Lodge's 146 million rand development of a brand new hotel in Newtown in Johannesburg. Now, Clifford, when I saw the announcement that you were opening up in Newtown, I went, about time. What took you so long?
Bruce, it certainly has been a long time in making the decision to go into Newtown. There have been a lot of developments in Newtown which really we've taken into account in making the decision to move into the Newtown precinct. It's an area where we don't yet have any visibility as far as any of our brands are concerned, but we do believe that it is a market which is ready for growth. And we would like to be there and grow into that market.
What has held you back up until now?
I think there's been a lot of talk always of the regeneration of the inner city. But when we saw the Atterbury development of the Newtown Junction actually taking place, they are actually our landlords at the new hotel in Newtown. As well as, I think it's Zurich's, their new head offices there. The banking sector has not moved out of town. So we believe that there's a lot of business in that particular area. There's the rag trade. There's also quite a lot of, I think, television business that happens in that particular area. We've got the Wits University as well as University of Johannesburg in the area. So we believe that there is a market for our product. And that would be during the week, and on weekends we believe that the vibrancy of the Mary Fitzgerald Square and the Market Theatre and the new shopping centre at the junction, as well as the neighbourhoods market, etc., etc. We believe that's all good for business, and I think going forward it's going to be quite a winner for us.
You'll remember the heyday of downtown Johannesburg, of course, and the days of the Carlton Hotel. The Landrost was a landmark in its day. Lots of those hotels mothballed. I mean, are there prospects for those properties ever to rebound to the same sort of degree that perhaps they were once held in very high regard? Excuse me.
It's, I don't believe that any of them will be. If there's a word like unmothballed, because I don't think that they're in what would necessarily be the right side of town. I don't believe that the renewal of the Johannesburg CBD has taken place in the areas where those hotels find themselves. But certainly Newtown Junction, I think, is certainly a great area with lots of potential with all the new developments which are taking place there.
How does it work with a landlord like Atterbury? Do you give them a plan and say, if you build this, we will lease this particular property from you for a period of, say, I don't know, 20 years? How do the commitments work?
These are long-term leases that we have, because it's a land and building lease that we have in Newtown. I think the time period is about 50 years, broken down into 10-year portions. We would necessarily, because it's our product, give them exactly what it is that we wanted there. We would be part of the process with regards to getting the contractor on board, them understanding what it is that we require, and would be together with Atterbury working right throughout the project with the contractor to ensure that the City Lodge product, as we require it, is what comes out of the ground.
How many, the rate of property acquisition over the last 6 years dramatically slower than the run-up to 2010, when you were criticised for over-investing ahead of the Soccer World Cup in South Africa in 2010, of course. When you look at the pace of development since then, you seem to have grown into your existing stock quite nicely.
That we certainly have. We're in this business for the long term. Our horizon is 50 years, and when we make a decision to push the button on a project, It's not for the short term. Our feasibilities are 10 years and longer. And when we make a decision, it's for the long term. When we made the decision in 2008, 2009, to open 9 hotels before the World Cup, we believed that the timing was not necessarily right. But then again, when is the timing right? We had really good rates with regards to our construction. And as we have seen from 2009, when the market turned around about 2011, it has been very beneficial to have had those 9 hotels in the group portfolio today.
And so where to next then? Downtown Johannesburg, 20 years after a lot of the businesses in downtown Joburg moved out, you're moving in. Is this the first of several of your brands in this part of town?
Right, we haven't taken any firm decisions in that particular regard. We do, however, believe that there is still opportunity in South Africa. There are always new nodes which are opening up, new areas where development is taking place. And I think the one which needs to be mentioned is Waterfall City. When Atterbury decided to do the Mall of Africa in Waterfall City, we immediately threw our hat in the ring for a city lodge to be built in Waterfall City. The hotel is completed, and even though the mall is not yet completed, the new office tenants that are going into that area are really doing the hotel occupancy great strides already in that particular area. And we do have the I think it's the only hotel site in that Waterfall Mall complex, apart from I believe a 5-star hotel right on the other side of the mall.
So there's still certainly a lot of vibrancy in terms of the development of of facility, of hotels and of those sorts of facilities across South Africa. As a Pan-African experience, you did have a couple of announcements a year or two ago about expansion onto this continent. How are those plans progressing?
Yes, they are progressing, and albeit that it is slow. There is a lot of work that needs to be done about getting approvals, as well as a lot of red tape and bureaucracy. But we believe that we're there. We have gone into ground in Nairobi with the City Lodge Hotel 2 Rivers at the new 2 Rivers complex, which is being developed in Nairobi. So that one is now on its way, and we expect the opening to be at the end of the first quarter 2017. In Dar es Salaam, we are also far down the line. We had one regulatory approval that was still required, and that was for the EIA of the development to be signed off. Unfortunately, it landed on the desk of the then minister, and he never got round to signing it before the elections. Only recently, since the elections, has the president appointed his cabinet, and we are very hopeful that within the next couple of weeks that the EIA will be signed and that we can actually go into ground in Tanzania.
Okay, so Kenya and Tanzania very much on track. Have you looked toward the west?
We have looked towards the west. We looked in Nigeria for quite a length of time, and really came to the decision that it just wasn't a market which we were ready to go into. There was a very, very big pipeline of new hotels that were coming into the market in the next few years. As well as the fact that it is very difficult to conduct business, we believe, in Nigeria. Costs are almost 3 times what they are in South Africa. So we called off Nigeria and said, let the pioneers do Nigeria. We will wait, and we're sure that there will be a turn when we will go back to Nigeria to look at opportunities there. We then had a look at Ghana. And Ghana also was an area which we felt was ripe for a City Lodge group hotel. But then we also found that that the economy in Ghana really went pear-shaped, especially with the petrol price drop. So again, an area which we have interest in, but not right at the moment. But we believe that there will be time when we will be able to move into West Africa.
How serious is the threat to a company like City Lodge of the global giants really taking a greater interest in the African continent? Hilton, of course, has got a presence. Marriott recently got into bed with the Protea Group. Are you concerned on that particular front?
No, I don't believe that we have any concern really. Marriott has been around in South Africa for many years, looking at opportunities, and just haven't had the required opportunity come their way yet. Up until the time that they looked to purchase Protea. In South Africa, we have three major hotel groups, being Tsogo Sun, Protea, and ourselves. And we, again, understand the domestic market. We have probably as a grouping the bigger footprint. And for anybody from an international branded hotel group, would find it quite difficult to come into this particular market, especially with the fact that they don't bring equity, they don't bring their money to do their developments. They look for a developer to actually do the development for them, and then they take a management contract. And I think at the current time, I don't know whether there's too many banks out there who are ready to fund any new hotel developments in South Africa.
But some of your prospects are so closely tied to the fortunes of the South African economy, and recently the World Bank downgraded its forecast pretty much in line with what everybody in South Africa is saying, to less than 1% economic growth. This is your home market. This is the dominant market within your portfolio. Just how tough do the next 12 to 18 months look?
We think there certainly is going to be some belt tightening, which is going to need to happen in the next 12 to 18 months. But there is still growth, albeit that it's very small growth. We believe that this growth will still filter through to more rooms being sold in the hotels which are already built in South Africa. The pipeline that we see for the next couple of years in South Africa is probably less than 1% of new rooms coming into the market. So we believe even if growth is only at 0.5 or 0.7%, we believe that growth is still positive. Some sectors of the market are doing well, other sectors of the market not doing that well. But we believe that there will still be business, and we would like to certainly think that in going forward in the next 12 months or so, that we can still see those small increases which we have seen in occupancy in the months going forward.
There we go, taking the 50-year view, the City Lodge Chief Executive Clifford Ross breaking ground in downtown Johannesburg, with ambitions, of course, to grow even further across the African continent, but slowly and steadily is the watchword. Thank you for watching. We'll be checking up on other moneymakers tomorrow. Till then, bye-bye for now.